on to Jayden Daniels, a forgotten man, a forgotten season. The Washington quarterback suffered that nasty elbow injury on November 2nd. Head coach Dan Quinn said this week Daniels is set to return to practice, but he has not yet been cleared for contact. Colin, just help me make sense of this. They're 3-8. They're not going to the playoffs. And Jayden Daniels is out here saying, if I'm back out there and healthy, I'm ready to go. I want to be out there. Like, I don't know. I'm extra cautious with stars in the NBA, in the NFL. I don't want to see Jayden Daniels on the field again this season. What's the point?
Well, he's a pro athlete and he's competitive and wants to play. I mean,
that's great. Yeah, that's wonderful.
In any field, you're healthy, you're aggressive, you're competitive. I want to be on the field. I think I have no problem him playing. I really don't. I think young quarterbacks need more reps. It's one thing, again, if he was 37 years old, it was Matt Stafford or Aaron. That's different. Young guys, get him out there. He's still in the learning process of how to be a quarterback. Get him snaps.
Yeah, he's also learning how to play behind that rotten offensive line, which is getting him killed. And so he's running for his life and getting hurt. Colin, you get injured in December and it's major, you're going to miss part of next season.
Well, you can't think about that.
No,
when
you know what
play.
you could do? You can have him on the headset listening on the sideline, and you get a higher draft pick. How about this? Would you rather win 6 games, go 6-11 with Jayden Daniels playing down the stretch and pick 11th, or win 4 games and draft, I don't know, 5th with Jayden Daniels sitting? Think about the long term.
And I think either 5th or 11th, you're getting a starter. You're probably getting an offensive tackle that starts at left or right for you, because there's 3 great O tackles, and at least 2 of them will be available by the 11th pick. So what they want, they're going to get regardless.
All right, understood. First and foremost, I completely comprehend why Jayden Daniels is expressing that if he's medically cleared and prepared, he wants to be on the field. Yeah, without a doubt. What else is he supposed to say? No, even if I'm fully healthy, I'd rather not participate. I'm just going to take it easy for a while. The entire crux of the matter is determining his actual, factual physical condition. Okay, that genuinely becomes the pivotal inquiry. If he is authentically 100% fit and there are 0 legitimate medical reservations, then I would have no issue reactivating him. However, from a developmental standpoint, my approach would be extremely cautious. It's head coach Cliff Kingsbury and Jayden himself stating they aren't preoccupied with external factors. We're not focused on ensuring you understand how to engineer game-winning drives or demanding you hold the ball to launch it deep downfield. No, the strategy would be to concentrate on a curated set of specific fundamentals. The sole objective would be to accumulate live repetitions. It would be purely about making you increasingly comfortable and acclimated within the game environment. In fact, we would aim to slightly modify your playing style. We must ensure you are adequately protected. We need to guarantee you comprehend that when pressure arrives, you must dispose of the football in a manner that avoids absorbing unnecessary additional contact. Whatever the specific adjustment may be, the mandate for these final few contests would be explicit. You are exclusively a pocket passer. That is the entire scope of your role. Nothing more. I do not want to witness you drop back and scramble, veering left before abruptly cutting back, looping around, and sprinting right. A maneuver we observe constantly from everyone nowadays. Literally everyone. It was once unique to Lamar Jackson. Now it's Josh Allen. Now it's Jalen Hurts. It's Kyler Murray. It's Patrick Mahomes. The entire league is incorporating it. For Jayden Daniels, the instruction would be, no, no, no. I do not want you attempting that. Not under any circumstances at this moment. I'm not suggesting a permanent ban, but certainly not for the remainder of this season. No, absolutely none of that. Okay, 0. In fact, for the rest of this campaign, I would solely focus on drills like snap, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, throw. Snap, 1, 2, throw. Snap 1. I would be entirely indifferent to the resulting statistics. I would pay no attention to public commentary or external noise. The approach would be strictly confined to a controlled, experimental environment. We would ensure your continuous improvement because, as a young quarterback, he undeniably requires further development. So instead of forfeiting this entire year of potential growth, we would utilize this time constructively. We would treat these games as an extension of our practice sessions. I would unequivocally not deploy him against a defense like the Denver Broncos, that is certain. I would definitely avoid that scenario. And if you believe this perspective lacks merit from a coaching standpoint, arguing, that sounds ideal in theory, but we can simply address those elements in practice. It's inconsequential. Consider this. The specific areas he needs to refine, the skills we aim to cultivate, while he already grasps the fundamentals of live NFL football, it's ultimately about accumulating focused game speed experience. A significant portion of the development I'd prioritize can indeed be accomplished in the more regulated setting of practice, and ultimately, this is a determination for the coaching staff. That is precisely why they are entrusted with those positions. I will not feign possession of the definitive answer, as I cannot claim to know the exact intricacies of what Jayden Daniels must improve or how his development should be structured. If anything, the primary benefit might simply be consistent exposure to the velocity of the NFL game, allowing him to grow progressively more at ease until reactions become instinctive. But ideally, I would prefer he gain that invaluable experience only when I am convinced he is legitimately and completely healthy. That is non-negotiable. If there are additional specific aspects you'd want him to hone, then that's a valid consideration. But I certainly do not fault Jayden Daniels for his public statement in the slightest. However, it is a difficult predicament. He is an immensely valuable franchise asset. He is so exceptionally gifted and unique that he took the field, sustained an injury, returned, and was injured again. Now we are discussing the possibility of reintegrating him, and that represents a substantial burden. It's also something I don't think many people, including even football players and staff, fully grasp. The healing process is incredibly demanding on the human body. It is profoundly energy-intensive. When your body is repairing itself, you actually require a higher caloric intake than under normal circumstances. It is a strenuous process. It is arduous labor for your physiology to reconstruct and restore itself. That is a reality. It consumes significant energy. This is why, in hospital settings, the staff constantly emphasizes, you must eat, you have to consume nutrients, we need to get food into you. It is critically important. Therefore, the mere act of Jayden's body recuperating, despite his time away from the field, is itself an energy-intensive endeavor, and it is also mentally draining. It is profoundly mentally exhausting, and unless you have personally endured a significant recovery, it is challenging to articulate. Coping with persistent pain, grappling with the frustration of physical limitation, experiencing sleep disruptions, every aspect of your routine is thrown into disarray. It is mentally taxing. Interacting with a team of surgeons, attending physical therapy sessions, undergoing MRI scans, getting x-rays, the entire relentless process is just draining. It genuinely is. And this is the reality Jayden Daniels has been navigating throughout this entire season. Now, contemplate reintroducing him to the field, where he must immediately begin processing complex information. What is the defensive scheme? How are they attempting to neutralize me? What instructions is Coach Cliff relaying? What specific read or adjustment must I make? It becomes an overwhelming cascade, and it might not constitute the ideal setting to reintegrate an individual. Given that I harbor no fundamental doubts about Jayden Daniels in a vacuum, I don't feel a pressing need to evaluate what this player is capable of. I am already convinced. I know Jayden Daniels is a special talent. I know Jayden Daniels is phenomenal. Surround him with a competent team, ensure he remains healthy, and he will excel. He is destined to be extraordinary. However, I firmly believe he must modify certain aspects of his playing style. He needs to reduce the number of hits he absorbs. He must learn to slide or get down more frequently. He needs to develop a quicker trigger and release the football faster. These are all adjustments I previously stated I wanted to see from him before he ever took a regular season snap for the Washington Commanders, right after he was drafted. This has proven to be a prescient assessment. Furthermore, if there are additional off-field measures he can undertake from an injury prevention perspective, while many simplistically suggest gain more muscle mass, and while that may have merit, there are also considerations like addressing muscle imbalances, refining his style of play. There are multiple avenues for enhancement. Sometimes it simply boils down to luck. Tom Brady was never excessively muscular, and proponents always attributed his durability to his flexibility, which is a debatable point. Conversely, you have other athletes who are incredibly physically developed yet suffer frequent injuries. You have players with the pliability of a dancer who also consistently get hurt. So occasionally it is merely a matter of chance. But yes, I would undoubtedly adopt a more conservative approach because I have no unanswered questions regarding Jayden's ability. Therefore, my analysis would be strictly focused. If I were in the owner's position, I would directly ask Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn, and others, What are the precise areas Jayden Daniels requires work on? What does Jayden need to accomplish to evolve into the best quarterback he can potentially become? Provide me with the top 5 priorities. Elucidate the steps involved. Then, explain to me, does his presence on the field right now accelerate this process? Does it maximize his developmental trajectory? Outline the professional advantages and disadvantages, not specifically concerning health risks, but strictly pertaining to the quarterback's technical and mental development at this precise juncture. Then, we would meticulously weigh the pros and cons of the decision. Do we genuinely need to field him for the remainder of the season, or do we officially shut him down, ensuring he achieves total and complete health, while he continues all necessary work during practices, fulfills his obligations in the weight room, collaborates with physical therapists, personal trainers, and strength coaches, all the essential components? Afterwards, the focus shifts entirely to preparing for the upcoming season. The decision does not need to be convoluted by notions of intensity, complexity, or competitive alpha mentality. We should not unnecessarily complicate an already challenging situation. We have effectively been deprived of a proper second year from Jayden Daniels. And when you survey the landscape of the league, when you evaluate the other quarterbacks, there still are not many signal callers I would select over Jayden Daniels. There simply are not. The public is often enamored with a certain group of other names. I won't specify to avoid inciting other fan bases, but there are several quarterbacks whom people fervently champion, exclaiming, "Oh, that's the one. That's the one. So-and-so is vastly superior. He's incredible. He's this and that." And the reality is he is not Jayden Daniels. He is not Jayden Daniels. And Jayden Daniels will forcefully remind everyone of that fact in the 2026 season. The current situation is disappointing, but he will unequivocally demonstrate his caliber. But those are merely my personal reflections. I would be absolutely delighted to hear yours. What are all of your thoughts concerning Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders? Do you believe he should suit up and play? Do you think the organization should rule him out for the remainder of the season? Please share your perspectives in the comment section below. I read every single comment, whether you find yourself in agreement with me or you vehemently disagree. Either way, let's engage in some discussions. Let's get into some spirited debates. But ultimately, let's just have an enjoyable exchange. Please do consider subscribing. We are constructing a phenomenal community here, and I would absolutely adore seeing you become a part of it. I am committed to building something we all feel a genuine connection to, something we are truly thrilled to be involved with. I believe we are making significant progress toward achieving that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely assists with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you all so very much. I will see you next time.